Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages, welcome to whoops, that's my audio there. I'm going to call this this is going to be a very challenging series for me to do here. Uh, this is going to be an ongoing series of how we get from where we're at to where we want to be, I guess. More views, obviously, everybody wants more views on the YouTube. So let's go ahead and get to the title screen and get this party started. It is our Old Humble and the quest for 100,000 YouTube views. As the title screen says, it is also the first installment. We're going to do this multiple, we're going to have multiple entries on this. And I'm going to shrink this a little bit because I want the screen to be a little bit smaller. Artistic license, if you will. So here's what's up. We've had a presence on the YouTubes now. I started the channel, I guess it was 2016, I don't know, when did I start the channel? Let's go over here and consult when did I start the channel, guys? We got a page right here that should tell me. Started the channel, joined October 15, 2014. That is when I started the channel. Thank you, Cambot. Actually, I'm not sure I'm allowed to call it Cambot. So we won't do that twice. But here's what's up. I uploaded my first video. My first video was uploaded to YouTube back in April of 2020. April 23rd, 2020 to be exact. So since April 23rd of 2020, we've gone from basically 15 or 20 subscribers to a little bit over 530, somewhere in the neighborhood of 530 subscribers. Not a tremendous growth, and that's fine, because this channel basically started during the pandemic, and the idea was to have a diversion for my company and myself, give my performers, my friends, creative types, interesting people a forum to kind of have a conversation, continue to connect with my community and my people, and have like little happy hours. That's what the Old Humble Distilling Company does, happy hours. And that's what we started in April of 2020. We started posting cocktail corner or quarantine cocktail happy hours was the idea, where I would do a little quarantine cocktail, and then we expanded the quarantine cocktail, Old Humble quarantine cocktails, and then we expanded the quarantine cocktails to a full-on quarantine cocktail happy hour, and then we went from quarantine cocktail happy hour to the Old Humble quarantine happy hour show, which was the full hour and a half, 2-hour long happy hour. And we did 100 episodes of the Old Humble quarantine cocktail happy hours. Mouthful of words, podcast. But our views over the course of that time has been fairly steady. And now, we're 2 years into it. We're hitting, as a company, working on hitting all of our cylinders and going full stride. And this as our entertainment outreach. I wanted this to kind of develop and get be a little bit more serious about our YouTube and our entertainment. Because we're going to have bands coming into our shop, and I want to broadcast those bands over our channel. I want those bands to actually be seen and not just get picked up by 15 or 20 people on the live channel and the live show. So this is the whole point of this rambling introductory dialogue. I want to figure out how to get more views on my channel. Over the course of the last couple of years, as the About page showed, we have 40,082 views. We just popped 40,000 views this morning, as a matter of fact. Super duper excited about it. Just popped 40,000 views this morning. Overjoyed, happy that we did that. But that's in 2 years, 40,000 views. And if we look here at, let's hide that. If we look here at the actual analytics page did that work? If we look at the actual analytics page for the channel, let's make me small and put me over here. I should have a whole nother screen. See, this is something I didn't anticipate. I should have a whole nother screen for this. And let's put me up here. Where'd I go? up here. Thank you. Ta-da! All right. Put me in the back. That's fine. Put me in the back. So here's the views in the last 28 days. I made changes in the last couple of days, and you see I've actually had a spike of views in the last day. We went from, it's probably for this particular video, 115 this morning, no, yesterday evening, because I posted this live stream yesterday in anticipation of our live stream today, and then I started an hour late, but that's fine. But if we look at my channel over the last 365 days, specifically the last 365 days, you'll see the views that we've had are pretty consistently flatlined. But it makes it really, one thing in particular makes it a challenge. We had one viral video hit in, it was a viral video short in, when was it? October, November or December of last year. And if I move it to 365 days, everything is skewed by that one video. That's the last 7 days. You see it stays pretty level, and then it kind of pops up. But we'll get to those specifics in a second. But come on now. This is another thing. I've got a whole lot we're going to cover when I talk about what's going on here. But there's we'll come back to this. There's a whole lot of suggestions on the YouTubes. If you search out how to get more views on the YouTubes, you get no small amount of suggestions. You get suggestion, a whole page of suggestions, then you get a whole another page of suggestions, then you get a whole nother page of suggestions, and you get a whole nother page of suggestions. And you can keep getting more and more suggestions until you just basically stop scrolling. There is no limit to the number of videos telling you how to get more views on YouTube. And a lot of them say the same thing. So I'll save you some effort. Keyword search, find your niche. Keyword search, find your niche. Trend chasing. Keyword search, find your niche, trend chasing, and then there's the contradictory ones, the short videos, the long videos, detailed videos, broad videos. Yeah, those are the ones that kind of contradict you. But the ones that say the same stuff, find a niche, keyword search, answer a specific question. How do I? And that's a challenge when you're a happy hour show, because I don't really have a niche. Or at least I didn't think I had a niche when it came to happy hour entertainment channel. I didn't really have a niche per se. Here's the views I wanted to show you. So over the last year, you see the views stay kind of flat, and then they pop up, and then I had this short hit over here, and then but see, if you actually could drill down into here, it's kind of up and down in the 30 or 50 views per day. Not a tremendous amount. Not a tremendous amount of stuff. And there was a period in there at the beginning of 21 where I just didn't make any videos. I had other stuff that I had going on. Anyway, cheers, Phil, from Everything Spicy. You're watching Old Humble and the quest for 100,000 new YouTube views, or 100,000 YouTube views. And as I said before, we are at 40 right now, where we popped just this morning 40K. And as I was saying, there's all kinds of videos showing how to get more views. And most of them say the same thing. Find your niche, find your niche, keyword search, answer specific questions. But we don't really answer specific questions at happy hour. We're an entertainment, we're a chat. We sit back and relax and chill and have a drink. Have some interesting people on, talk about some hopefully interesting topics, and then move on from there. But I kept getting this same advice again and again and again and again and again. And being, excuse me, who I am, I was kind of like, I don't have a niche. I was resistant. So I finally listened. I finally sat and said, okay, let me try and apply this advice that we keep getting given. How can I apply this advice? What do we do? And I went back and I looked at literally every single video that we had. What do we do? Well, hang on. First off, let me define the task at hand. The task at hand is go from here. We are at 40K, 40,082. This is where we were. We joined in 2014, but our first video was April of 2020. We're at 40,000 views. About half of those came in the last 365 days. Half of them came 365 days before that. And in the first 365 days, about 13,000 of those was one video. And in the second 365 days, about 8,000 of them was one video. So all my other videos are doing better in the second year, which is good. I'm down with that. But we need, in this, my goal for this year, for up until December 31st, for the next now 10 and a half months. We are right at 10 and a half months. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way. We're right at 10 and a half months. My goal for the next 10 and a half months is 60,000 views. And why 100,000 views by the end of the year? Why 60,000 views? Why do I want to triple my views over the end of the year? Absolutely no reason. There's no magic in the 100K number of views. There's no magic in the number of views. There's no magic in 60,000 views versus 40,000 views versus 150,000 views versus a million views. There's no magic number in that. I mean, the real goal is more. I want more than 20,000 over the next 365 days versus the last 365 days. And mostly I want more so that when we do have our events at the distillery, when we have our live shows at the distillery, when we have our bands at the distillery, they get the exposure that they need. Of course, we get the exposure we want as well, but they get the exposure they need and they want, so that it's worth it to come and play live at our distillery. And it's not just for the money. Of course, it's never just for the exposure. I would never have bands come just for the exposure. It's not just for the money either. It's for the money and the exposure. And then playing at the Old Uncle Distilling Company to be something bigger for them down the road. And that's kind of the goal. I want to help my people, help my tribe, if you will. That is some good coffee. Yum. And I just spilled it a little. So that's the goal that I've laid out. Why 100,000? No reason in particular for 100,000 versus 500,000. I just think 100,000 is achievable. It's a big goal. Tripling my views from the last 12 months to the next 12 months. It's a big goal, but I think it's also an achievable goal, because if I went from, except for the one video in the first year, which was 7,000, and except for the one video in the second year, which would have been 14,000. I doubled it from year 1 to year 2 if you take out the one big video that we had in both years. I doubled my views. And then if you go from doubling it from year 1 to year 2 to tripling it in year 3, but in year 3 counting that one video, I think that's manageable. I think it's doable. And I'm going to try to employ the advice that we find that's good advice, not just generic coach, because there's plenty of generic coaching advice. I sat down with one coach and he could not wait to spit out, find your niche. He couldn't wait. He didn't even care what I told him what we did. First thing out of his mouth was find your niche, not anything else. Not what do you, well, he did ask what we did. And this is where I was able to finally apply the advice of find your niche. But when a coach tells you find your niche, what they're trying to tell you is to pare back what you do and pigeonhole yourself into one thing. You know, are you a how-to channel? Are you a tasting channel? Are you a review channel? Are you a name your channel channel? And that's a challenge when you're an entertainment channel. We're not a live music channel. We're not a science channel. We're not a dating channel. We're not a travel channel. We're not a tasting channel. We're not a whiskey giveaway channel. We're not a how-to channel. But we do all of those things under the umbrella of our happy hours. I have live music on. I have science, I have makers, I have tasters, I have performers, I have spicy food challenge. Well, I'm probably never going to do it. Well, I might do another spice. I'm not going to rule it out. Spicy food challenges, food challenges in general, reviews. We can do all of that. But here's where I find the niche, if such a thing is to be found. We're a happy hour channel. We're a happy hour live chat, live stream channel. And this is how I found that out. I actually dug into all of my data because we have about 100 live shows that we did. It's recorded upload data is the file that I had. And I also have live stream data shows. So I have two types of shows. Let's get this thing off my face here. Get out of here. Bye. I dug into data. Like, what are we doing that works? That was the question that I had. What are we doing that works over the last 2 years? And what I found, actually digging into my data, because we've done two different types of happy hour shows. I've done a happy hour show where I bring on a guest and we record the guest, we talk about the things, and we uploaded the happy hour. And then I've done our happy hour where we do it live at 9 p.m. on Thursday nights. We used to do it live on Tuesday and Thursday nights at 9 p.m. And what I found out, and this is how much of a nerd I am, what I found out when I downloaded all this data and I analyzed all this data and I put it into a pivot chart and, cut it, sorted it, dug into it deeply and thoroughly, I found that our live happy hours did better than our uploaded happy hours. And maybe part of the problem my uploaded happy hours didn't do as well as my live happy hours was because I wasn't as good with the keywords, which is another common piece of advice that you get. But we'll get to the keywords in a second too. There's a third very good piece of it. There's find your niche, use your keywords, and then commonly one that comes up is to use an analytics software to help you with the keywords. And we'll get into that at a future date because I'm not 100% sure how to. I've got one, but I'm not 100% sure how to use it yet. So here, let's capture this screen one more time. Here is the data. And put me down in the corner, please. Thank you. And I really need to set up a different scene. I'm now using OBS. I need to set up a separate scene for this. So I have my day in the life videos this is all my live stream stuff. Different categories of live streams. Our vlogs, nobody watches it. Nobody watched the live stream vlog. Random videos were fine. Live music was great, but most of this live music came from our Memorial Day concert in 2021. Hey, get off the pivot table, guy. Come on. Go. Our happy hour lives are great. People love the happy hour lives. People watch them. They engage with them. And the day in the life stuff, people engage with that too. And the day in the life is when I'm in the distillery and I'm actually doing my work in the distillery. And I just turn on the camera and talk to people. So what I learned from that compared to this is our uploaded happy hour. People didn't care for the uploaded happy hour as much as they cared for the live happy hour, which makes sense. You're having a couple of drinks with people. You're having a conversation with people. People engage with the chat. People engage with the conversation. Duh, old humble guy. That makes sense. Why are you such a bot? Sorry. But still, nobody watches the vlog. And even with this, people who didn't watch the vlog videos are Vlogmas and Vlogentine's vlog series. They did watch the live vlog. They just didn't watch the vlog series. And that's weird because the vlogs are like 6 minutes long. Perfect time for a YouTube video. So basically what this tells me is none of my uploaded stuff is nearly as good as my live stuff. So I'm going to quit doing hardly any of the uploaded stuff unless it's a special situation, a special circumstance, a special case. And I found my niche. My niche is live streamed happy hour and live streamed a day in the life videos. I found a niche. I fell into it by accident just by looking at what I do, where my talents lend themselves, where my skill set is best applied. And it turns out my skill set and talents are best applied to live stream. I'm terrible at editing. Not that that terrible at editing is not the right word for it. I'm not bad. It's just I don't have interest in doing it. That's what it is. I just have no interest in doing the editing. I can do a live edited show with moderate production value like this, where I can pull up screens and do all kinds of stuff. But in fact, I'm going to pop into studio mode so I can do more stuff. And then OBS, by the way, is the platform that I use, if that is interesting to you or if you're interested in such things. Anyway, so all that said, there's plenty of good advice. There's plenty of advice, for one, but there's also plenty of good advice. Now, the next piece of advice that I saw and applied, that I was able to apply, was to simply update and improve the page which tells people what we do, who we are, our about page. Update all that. If you are if people look at my about page, this is another major source of traffic to my videos, was the about page. So what I would want people to know is who we are and what we do, and how to interact with us. So I wanted to update the about page. And having stumbled into what I would describe as a niche, what I think most people would describe as a niche, I then updated my about page to confirm that. And my about page says, we're the Old Humble Distilling Company. We do happy hours. In fact, let's zoom into this a little bit more. What else do we do? You know what? I can do this over here, and I can capture this window too. But I updated our about page. I updated our banner. The banner had been just garbage, just hot garbage. It was not a great banner. It was something I threw together back in probably 2014 or 2015 when I started the channel. It was not something that I had focused a whole lot of energy on. But if you come to our banner now, it tells you the channel of, what do we do? We are the channel of whiskey giveaways, the Old Humble Happy Hour. We're the channel of behind the scenes videos, cocktails, live music. Updated our links here to include all of our links. So you can find us on all the social medias. You can find our website. You can find all the things in all the places. I had neglected that about page for far too long. And immediately, again, I saw some immediate improvement when I did that, and we can go back and look at the analytics in a minute. But the whole point was, there was our starting point where you could see, and when you get a lot of good advice, it's easy to get overwhelmed with the good advice that you've got. And now you're overwhelmed. I can't do it all. No, you can't. You can't do it all at once. But you can start taking the pieces of advice and plugging them in and finding incremental improvements and doing not really an A/B test, but you can start with, okay, this is what I did. This is the improvement. Maybe I can do it differently, and maybe I can get more improvement. Maybe if I do it differently, I get less improvement. And then you can kind of tinker with the one thing until you're satisfied with it. And then move on to the next one thing until you're satisfied with it. And then move on to the next one thing until you're satisfied with it. But the whole point of my about page, for me at least, was to make it short, sweet, and simple. What are we doing? Well, join us for weekly happy hour live streams. That's it. On the weekly happy hour live streams, you'll get product releases, behind the scene videos, and streams, and even whiskey giveaways. That's it. We are simple. I don't want to call us a simple one note channel, but I wanted to narrow down the what we do question, the answer to the question of what do we do, to a more simple statement of we do happy hours. And on our happy hours, which could be in the afternoon, it can be in the evening. When we do our happy hours, we do either behind the scenes, a day in the life, live music, giveaways, cocktails, music, reviews, all the stuff. On our happy hours, this is what we do. So when you come to the channel, you'll see the happy hour from Thursday. You'll see the happy hour from Tuesday. You'll see the happy hour from Wednesday. Whenever we did the happy hour, you'll see the happy hour. And whenever we have a happy hour, you'll kind of know what to expect because it'll be more of that whiskey fueled nonsense that we have every single time we pop it on into a happy hour. Another common piece of advice is to find other people who do the same thing that you do and copy them. If they're successful, find other people who do what you do and copy them. And that is a great, great, great piece of advice. Absolute fantastic piece of advice. So I started casting around for other channels that just do live streams, just do live chat, just do this type of show that I'm aspiring to do. And I found a couple. And I copied their channel keywords, plugged them in, added my own because I'm my own channel too. But the ones that were applicable, I used those. The ones that were not, I obviously didn't use them. We're not really a politics channel, but we can talk politics. And if people have a political happy hour, well, and they have their political keywords, I kind of leave those out because we're not really a politics channel. We can get into it. There's no reason not to. We can get into karma. We can get into religion. We can get into philosophy. We can get into economics. We can get into literally anything. I'm down to expand my comfort zone and challenge my knowledge about anything, challenge my own knowledge about literally anything. But we do it in the context of the happy hour. So, all that said, now let's look at what we've seen, what kind of results that has led to and yielded over the last several weeks. So let me minimize or shrink me down one more time. Here's the corner. And bring up my new screen, please. Thank you. Okay, so let's look at the results that it's led to over the past week or so. So over the last week, last 28 days, 776 views. This is about the same as usual. 650 to 700 views per month. If we go back to, let's see if it'll let me do it. If we go back to previous months, we're about on par for our monthly views. If we look at December 2021, which would have been just a couple of months ago, we look at December 2021, 570 views. We look at January 2022. We look at January 2022. We will see 619. We look at February. So far in February, we're on pace we're literally halfway through the month right now. February should be about 300, 400. So actually, in February, we're on pace to blow away previous months. And now, if you look at the trend, the other months, they were pretty flat. Especially December was pretty flat. Now, we're steadily climbing up. This was our last happy hour show last week on the 10th. This was Thursday's happy hour show. One of the best watched live happy hours that we've done. And we had a post-show after stream, kind of an after party after stream. And then, we've climbed up for more views. My click-through rate has improved just in the last 7 days, when I've started implementing these changes. My click-through rate has improved. My views have improved. My watch time has improved. And ultimately, I believe that will yield more subscribers to the channel as we move forward. It's not going to be an immediate benefit. And that's not really the goal and purpose, because I do not believe a what am I trying to say? I don't believe a recreational drug company like mine. What are we doing? Come on. A recreational drug company like mine, I want to hide this. There we go. Is going to be monetized as family friendly or advertiser friendly content. There we go. Get over there. But there is one more page I want to show y'all. My worksheet where I track. I call it my monetization worksheet, but it's not really a monetization worksheet. Right now, it's just tracking. It's tracking the data and analytics on a daily basis for the channel. Because again, I'm a statistics nerd. I'm a data nerd. And if you can measure it, you can. If you can monitor it, you can measure it. If you can measure it, you can manage it. And that is in my heart what I'm good at doing. That's how I run my business. That's how I run the distillery, and that's how I run that's how I'm going to start running my channel, because I don't aspire to be a YouTuber. I aspire to be a distiller who runs a YouTube channel, as a function of the distillery. And if we look over here at this page here, where's the analytics page? There it is. Turn me back on and trim me back down. Okay, actually, we're going to put me up here in the upper right-hand corner for this one. So here's my spreadsheet. Starting at the beginning of February, when I started tracking this and started making the changes at the beginning of February, where I started making the changes at the beginning of February, I'm tracking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 specific metrics. The views, the watch time. I'm trying to see the change in subscribers over the time, just to see if there's any kind of correlation. The number of impressions that we get, and a click-through rate. And then, of course, the unique viewers, because that's related to the click-through rate and the impressions. So you can see the impressions starting on February 1st. They start pretty steady, and then we have our we released a review show on the map of Tiny Perfect Things and our happy hour, and impressions spiked up. In fact, do I have a chart for this? Can't remember. Do I have a chart? No, I don't. Maybe I have a chart here. Is that a chart for the views tracker? I don't think that's a chart for the views tracker. Nope, that's a chart for something else entirely. But here's another thing that I noticed. My watch hours and views were lagging behind my subscribers. And I had very successful pushes for subscribers over on my other social medias, on Twitter and Facebook. And I would get subscribers, but they wouldn't translate into views and view hours. So I wanted to also focus my views and view hours on the YouTube community specifically. Because if I could focus on the YouTube community specifically, I think it will improve my views and watch hours. Of course, you need to promote your videos on other platforms and bring in a larger audience, but you really need to bring that audience in from the YouTube platform specifically, because if you don't bring it in from YouTube, they're not going to keep, you don't retain those viewers. They need to leave the other platforms to come to YouTube, and if they're not already on YouTube, you don't get them. So that was another, that's not a piece of advice that I got from the advice givers. That was a piece of advice that I've come across myself as just analyzing these numbers. Anyway, so you can see the views where they pop. And this is another thing that told me that I needed to focus on my happy hours, because this is the happy hour on the 3rd. This is the live music from the distillery, another spike in views of 620. Then we did another late night chat and happy hour, a late night chat / happy hour on the 7th, had another spike in views. Happy hour number 21, another spike in views. And and that's kind of where I see the spike in views, is when we do our live happy hours. So that tells me a whole lot of data right there in just 2 weeks worth of information. And then the click-through rate, you see where the click-through rate has been, it kind of spikes at the happy hours again, spikes at the happy hours, but then you see it starts to increase significantly going forward from there. So all of that is good, useful information, and we are going to continue to employ this information as we go forward. And I invite you to join me as we do this, so that you can you can hold me accountable, and B, you can help me with more suggestions and more information. And I appreciate that immensely. Click like and subscribe for more. If you want to see more, and if you have suggestions, you want to put me in contact with good advice givers that we can even bring on the show, that'd be fantastic, because I can do that as well. Good advice givers that we can put on the show and let them give their advice directly, and bounce what I've done off of them. Fantastic, because I watch their videos. I hope I know that their videos are useful and helpful, because I'm seeing the results. And next week at this time, you'll be able to see more of those results as we employ more of them. So by all means, uh, we appreciate your support. I just saw a pop-up over here of some information that I need to have, and I appreciate your support. If you have any additional advice that I can employ, so right now we've done our keywords, we fixed our about page. We're focusing on keyword search, we're fixing the about page. Next time we come back, we'll talk about TubeBuddy and other analytics assistants that can help you to improve your channel's performance, and I'll show you how it's improved my channel's performance over the next 7 days. And 7 days is an extremely short period of time to be able to track this sort of stuff, but when you continue to put pieces of 7 days together, like you've seen the improvement already, you can see the improvement, I can see the improvement, you should be able to see the improvement on my channel, the actual data analytical improvement over 14 days. And you start putting those bits of 7 days together, it starts to show a trend. And I'll be able to show you what's working and what's not working. And one of the great benefits of YouTube is this is very real time, and stuff changes in a very short amount of time. And I am a long ways away from getting the 5,000, 6,000 views a month that I need to hit 100,000. But I'm extremely close to my first milestone of 1,000 views per month, and I'm very excited about that. So we will see you next time for number 2. Cheers. Thanks for joining me. Be awesome to each other, and remember to love with your entire heart, fearlessly and without reservation. I still got coffee left. Cheers. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and comment for part 2 of the ongoing series, Old Humble versus 100,000 YouTube views, as we go on our quest to get 100,000 YouTube views before the end of 2020. Cheers and good afternoon. Oh, wow. There it is. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. You've seen the first episode of the Old Humble Distilling Company's quest for 100,000 subscribers, or 100,000 views on the YouTube. Jeez, I can't believe I'm going to do this twice.